Hey everyone, it's the West Barbarian here. I'm gonna have to record this like really quick. You may notice it's 9:46, which is a lot earlier than I usually record. Or whether or not you consider AM or PM, doesn't really matter. So I know where to record. It's past 11, but you also notice my battery percentage is 21. Yeah, the lowest it's ever really been when I start recording. Yeah, that's because. And also, even though this is going to be a Saturday update video, I remember recording it Thursday. Yeah. Because the reason why I wasn't really able to, stay true to my word about, resuming in recording sessions and upload sessions is because, fun fact, I actually have like two devices that I have to try to somewhat keep relatively charged. And to be able to keep both of those devices charged appropriately, I essentially had to use two different cords. Because while one of them worked perfectly fine on the other device, it really didn't help much at all on the current device I'm recording this on. Problem is the other cord that I used that did work fine with this device, yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, it no longer works at all due to some technical difficulties that it was kind of having before I started using it, but got so much worse after one little insignificant incident that now it can't be used at all. Okay. And you notice I've barely been recording for 2 minutes and my phone's already gone down a whole 1%. And I practically started like only a second before, or no, a second after it went to like, 21%. While I am glad that this device does keep a relatively consistent drain rate of the battery when it was 100 to 0%. One problem though is the fact that, it's still a pretty fast rate. Okay. Most devices that I have, they take forever to go from 100 to 90, but when it comes to going from 10 to 0, it's like near instantly. But this device though, it will consistently keep like a proper drain rate, the rate of the battery drain. It's not that, but it's not like affected nearly as much by like app usage and whatnot, I've noticed. Because but then again, there's also kind of the fact that I don't play games like Pokemon Go, because for some reason Pokemon Go, just like on every device I've ever played Pokemon Go on, the battery is just like straight down the second I open up Pokemon Go. I don't know what about Pokemon Go is draining my battery life so much more than like any other game I've played. And I've played some like pretty big and powerful games, a lot more powerful than goddamn Pokemon Go. Have you seen Pokemon Go? Like, it ain't that graphically intense. It's also not that heavy with features or really even characters for that matter. These characters on screen. Meanwhile, you got games like Raid Shadow Legends. And so I can try to paint a whole damn Van Gogh or whatever. It's like a million things going at once. All that shit. And even it's not even draining. It doesn't even drain my battery nearly as much as Pokemon Go does. Like seriously. But either way, I just wanted to clarify the reason why I haven't really been able to upload much is because I can only really record and upload. Well, I can upload from this whenever as long as I have a recording, but I can only really record at night while my family's probably asleep, because we kind of live in a relatively small house that essentially where sound travels anywhere and everywhere. I wouldn't be surprised if if you could hear the tinnitus in my ears from like my parents' bedroom. You know what I mean? Like that's how much sound travels in this house. And the thing is, almost at every point, there's someone watching TV in the living room. And the thing about TV in our living room is, our living room is the biggest room in the house. And while yes, one of the walls to the living room is essentially also the wall to the outside, so it's basically on the edge of our house, essentially. And every other like majorly used room is pretty much against the other wall of the house. The thing about our house is, it's got a lot more distance front to back than it does left to right. You know. So yeah. It's not a very wide house. A lot of the rooms even reflect that. You can literally stand in the road in front of our house, look in through one of the one of the specific 2 windows at the front, and as long as we open what is essentially our boiler room door, also the room with essentially the power box in it, you can look in from the road all the way to the opposite, to the end of our house, the inside, you know? There's literally only one thing you wouldn't be able to see, and there's literally only one part of our house that's essentially farther back than the boiler room wall. And that's essentially my parents' shower that's on the other side of that wall. Like, seriously. I'm not kidding. Our house ain't that. Now, I'll admit, our house definitely looks bigger on the inside than it does on the outside. Definitely even feels bigger on the inside than it does on the outside. But at the same time, though, that's mostly due to the fact that, well, it just doesn't really seem that big at all. Well, I mean, yeah, I'll admit, it definitely is a drastic change to look at it from the outside and then go into the house and like, wow. But again, you know, like it just feels that way because of how small it feels from the outside. How you go in and look at it from certain angles and all that, but the shape, the outline of the house definitely adds to that effect. Like I'm gonna tell you right now, to walk on the outside of the house, along the essentially like the living room wall with like the fireplace on it and whatnot. To walk on the outside of that wall definitely feels like a longer walk than on the inside of the house. But at the same time though, with every other wall, it's like an entirely different thing. It always feels so much shorter to walk on alongside the outside than it does the inside, you know? And especially, it just feels bigger inside than it does outside. At least the house itself, not the area around the house. Yeah. But either way, as you can see, it basically took like 6 minutes. It's gone down like 8 minutes. It got down 2%. You know, first percent went down the first about 2 minutes, so around that one. Then the next percentage went down after like 6 minutes later or whatnot. Like, always understand, like, a battery drains like really too quickly, you know. So in about like 8 minutes, it went down about 2%. You know, you gotta realize though, I tend to do 20 to 30 minute long videos, and recently due to the games I've been playing, and trying to make up for the fact of me not being able to upload very often. I'm trying to get more gameplay out, especially with my San Andreas playthroughs or episodes. I essentially have been recording for about hour-long sessions. So, yeah. So we're doing an average of like essentially 2% for every 8 minutes. So I just run into like 1 to 4 ratio. Okay. Well, that would mean like for every 4 minutes, that'd be about 1%. You know. Now, don't get me wrong, that's not the exact math, but we're just getting the averages and whatnot. So, you can divide an hour into 4 sections that are each 15 minutes. That would mean for about every, even though like 15 isn't exactly, a 4 evenly, but 60 is, and then it's 15. So approximately that's a whole 15 percentage that goes down just for me to record an hour-long episode. Okay. And the thing about this phone is, while it does charge quickly, it also drains quickly. Now, if you looked at any of my hour-long recording sessions and how, like, usually I'll just occasionally check my notifications as I'm recording and whatnot, because, fuck it, why not, you know? I don't got anything to hide. I gotta shoot like one short questers right now. 100% I'm watching that once I finish recording this. And you guys are wondering like how I'm getting subscription like notifications for channels that like, you know, I'm not even like subscribed to on my main channel when you check my social list. That's because those are so if I open my YouTube app right now, you'll notice probably some long lines of, well, I'm not like assigned to my actual like channel account. That's because I have like 3 Google accounts. One is essentially like a main account that I made. It's the first Google account I ever made, and I'm honestly glad that when I made it, I wasn't, you know, that dumb of a kid to just give myself like Fart Slayer 69 or something like that. And to be honest though, I know I say that as like a joke, but I'm willing to bet someone has an email that's just like fartslayer69@gmail.com. 100% if you go to Gmail, type that in as like an email or whatever, and you'll probably get like a response of like, how'd you get this email? Like, you know, or either that or you'll get something like, you were just listed as spam, you know what I mean? Like, but enough about like hypotheticals. It's just, I gave myself like my first name, my last name, a number, and then @gmail.com. It was almost something like you would see used as like a business email. The only difference is there wasn't like any form of thing between my first name and last name. It was generally just my first name, my last name, number, or I'm not gonna say how many digits were in the number, but it was in fact the number. And then @gmail.com. You know. Yeah. Oh, and y'all want to hear something really funny? And I will reveal this. I'm not gonna reveal like the very specifics about it. But when I made the email for my YouTube channel, I may have accidentally like fucked up a little bit. Because what I did for my YouTube channel is, I had this like thing where essentially I was gonna make my channel similar to my YouTube channel account's name and whatnot, you know, as Barbarian. And then I was just gonna add like the YT at the end to specify, you know, I'm making this channel, this email for YouTube, you know, to upload, you know, to be a quote YouTuber or whatever. And, well, I may have like accidentally left a letter out. Cause see, I'm gonna tell you guys what my email was supposed to be, but not exactly what it is. Okay. See, my YouTube account's email was supposed to be wisebarbarianyt@gmail.com. But due to a lack of, you know, proofreading before hitting like whatever it was, like continue or accept or whatever, I made a grammatical mistake. I'm not gonna tell you guys what that grammatical mistake is, but what I will say is it's kind of funny, and I find it kind of hilarious, the grammatical mistake I made. And the reason why I'm not telling you guys what the grammatical mistake was is because I don't want to run the risk of like, I start getting emails from my YouTube channel account's email that's just end up being, you know, fucking scam. And it's about like single moms in your area. Like, bro, hell no. I'm not going for single moms in my area. I want single grandmas in my area. You know what I'm saying? I like my women older. Okay. I like them really older. I prefer a mature woman. Real mature, you know what I'm saying? 100%. I won't fuck your mom, but I will fuck your grandma. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of guy I am. I'm 100% just a joking man. I am a joker. You know what I'm saying? I'm the joker, babe. Gotta be one of my favorite just random internet lines. So it's just cause it's 15 minutes and I like hold like 2%, so it's a close enough comparison, you know. Like there is like some slight level of like decrease in the speed in which the battery drains as it gets slower. Like if you went through all the videos I've made on my channel, and like kept track of like the percentages of my battery life, both in the first point they're shown in the video and the last point they're shown in the video, and what the distance between those 2 points are, you'll probably notice that like for some reason my battery will seem to like drain just a little bit slower the lower it goes. But it's only like a little bit. It's not really that noticeable unless you're like actually keeping track of it. See, part of the reason why my battery's draining so slow right now is because the only app active is literally the recording app. Like seriously, I got like no recent items or anything. Also, I recorded something earlier today and I was gonna show it to one of my friends, and you know, this friend does have a YouTube channel, but they are like not active on it anymore. But now that I think about it, I think it actually would be probably a little fun to show you all the clip. But I must warn you, this is just like raw camera footage and whatnot. Okay, so like, yeah, just ignore those pictures. There's some of my mom's videos. One thing I love about this phone is it properly compresses the file size without like heavily compressing like images.
Okay.
Yeah,
now I'm gonna record myself doing this trick. Okay, set up first.
Yeah, I know, I got an old ass.
See those guys in the distance?
This is my PS3.
Hey, yeah, those are the guys we're gonna hit.
Let me zoom in so
I'm
we can see if I can.
This hallway. For this trick, we need the remote control battery. And a little bit of a distance between ourselves and that wall. Oh, there. I'm gonna throw the text real quick. Prepare to throw the remote control battery. Wanna aim on.
Everyone please ignore the bread that I'm using to prop my phone up.
Throw.
I
think I missed. Okay. Fun fact of this trick, if you fail it early enough, it doesn't alert them. Okay. If you know.
One thing I gotta say I do love about recording on this device, the microphone is a lot better. And one thing also, you probably hear audio in the background of this recording. Yeah, this is why I don't record during the day. Because the thing about my gaming room is the fact that it's basically like at the front of the house, being surrounded on one wall, having a doorway that leads to the living room. That is essentially where at least someone is constantly watching TV. What you're hearing in the background is my sister watching an episode on Hulu of the show Rookie, which is a show that both her and my mom have been watching separately on Hulu. Okay. So, yeah. I just figured I'd clarify that. No, I do not know the episode she was watching. Okay, because I don't watch Rookie. No, I watch more animated content. You know, stuff like Tom and Jerry, and One Piece, and Scooby-Doo. And I fucking love the Ninja Turtles. I've currently been watching the 1987 version, and in my opinion, it is the best. And to be honest, this is one of the very, very few amount of opinions that I'd probably fight for. You know what I mean? The thing about me is, I'm one of those people, I'm one of the very few amount of people who understand that an opinion is an opinion and not, a fact. And just because an opinion can be backed up by facts and or logic doesn't mean an opinion is a fact or even has to be logical. But in my opinion, the 1987 version of Ninja Turtles is the best version. And it's only downhill from there. And it's also in my opinion that the least steep of the downward hills goes to the 2003 version, which was the last version of the Ninja Turtles started before I was born. You know, the top 2 versions are the 2 that came out before I was born. And in my opinion, out of all the Ninja Turtle versions that I have seen, Rise is the worst. And the only reason why I point out that I've seen is because I have not watched Tales yet. You know, Tales of Teenage Ninja Turtles, the most recent one that came out on Paramount Plus, because I've been waiting to watch it with my brother and my mom on Paramount Plus, because I want to watch it with them, because I think it'd be a fun little thing to do. Problem is, my mom is only watching something else all day, and my brother's either at school or somewhere else. Dude's almost never home, because even though he doesn't have like a job or anything, bro barely has a work ethic, let alone a place to work at. So he just walks the neighborhood occasionally, just around here biking or just going on a long walk, so he listens to music, due to the fact that him and my sister tend to fight because, well, my brother has the inability to learn from any action, and my sister just doesn't care about anyone, and really much but herself and occasionally her friends, you know. And I say occasionally, not for any like, oh, she just shit behind my back, because she really doesn't. She doesn't really say much behind their backs, but the thing about her is she will, like, her and her friends have been, like, imagine, like, those, like, couples in movies that are, like, one second they're, like, have a big fight and they break up, and the next second they're, like, immediately back together, and it's, like, it's about that for, like, a whole week. That's kind of like my sister and her friends. The only difference is they're not, like, dating, they're just, like, friends. You know, I mean, she's, like, dated a couple of people, you know. She's dated men, she's dated, well, I say men and women, but everyone involved is children. And heck, I don't even really consider it dating what they're doing. She's not like relationships, you know, I barely even call it that. Yeah. Heck, she's even dated a trans man, well, trans child, okay. Again, none of them, no don'ts were in the dating scheme. At least I hope not. Because she'll better not be trying to date random grown men. Yeah. But either way, let's just go ahead and watch me actually do the trick that I had to record myself doing. Sure.
So you're gonna fail, you wanna fail early. Okay, so we gotta wait for the remote control battery to recharge.
Going down like this.
Okay, oh my.
And one thing I gotta mention, it's because of me doing this trick at one point, why every time I play this game, I always pick the remote control battering as the first upgrade I'm able to get. First choice, no matter what, I pick that remote control battering every single time because I love doing this trick. You know, there are some points in time where I will literally, like, if I fail to, because as you saw earlier in this recording that we're watching and whatnot of me doing this trick, okay, I will literally like fail, like not even getting the turn right because I realized I was gonna fail, so I failed early. But sometimes I don't fail early, I fail too late. Because like I point out, if you're gonna fail, you wanna fail early, because then, and if when your battery, your remote control battery actually hits something, it doesn't make the noise is within the ear range, with like the range of the Blackgate Thug's ability to hear, or causing them to become alert to the battery, and then immediately just become alert to you. Because unlike in other points in this game, where you like throw a batarang to like lure someone into an area, these Blackgate Thugs, the second you make a battering noise, they don't just go straight to where the noise is made, they go straight to you. So, and because of how early I failed, I didn't really get to show that off properly.
Nice. Nice. How we do it?
Yeah, so this is cool. Yeah, just a little blade thing. And grab leg.
And we knocked that guy. Now this is the path we took.
On the map.
From down here, around. This is the area of the map you gotta do the trick in. Right near to the room with the penguin Easter egg. Yeah, well.
I think it's funny how I called it like an Easter egg, when in reality, okay, I'm just funny how I call it an Easter egg due to the fact that, like, basically when I was first introduced to it, I think it was just referred to, yeah, this is the Easter egg went up, but like, in reality, that's an actual, like, proper Riddler challenge thing and whatnot. Because if you actually check the Riddler challenges menu, you're actually supposed to get, like, a scan of that for one of the challenges. And while I'm talking about the Riddler challenges, it's because I recorded this, like, a couple of hours, not even like a couple hours, so it was, like, pretty early on into me just playing through the game for the first time in literal years, because I couldn't play it because for some reason it wasn't working. Just to find out today, well, I guess in this case it is today, because it's not 12 o'clock yet. But for when you guys see this, it'll be like 2 days ago and whatnot. Since you guys will be seeing this as a Saturday upload, and I'm recording this on a Thursday night. But like, basically, I essentially like got to the point in the story where Riddler gives you his first like quote unquote Riddler themed challenge. And I said, you know what? While I'm still in the intensive treatment area, I should probably get as many of the things that I can done, okay, before I leave. That way, there will be less to focus on when I come back to try to get more stuff. And to be honest, the amount of shit I was able to get was actually pretty surprising. The fact that no one really stunned, because a lot of it was pretty easy to get. But there are two things that I need to call out that I've noticed in my process of like trying to collect stuff. Okay, first I need to show off the map. Okay, let me get to the point where I show off the map or whatever. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh god, that was a horrible spot to pause in. Okay, so if you look at that map, what it shows right there, I really wish I could zoom. God, what the hell? What the? Oh god, how the hell do this? Okay, there we go. Brightness up. Just 2 finger brightness. Okay, so I guess it's not really showing that part of the map properly. See, now I was at 15%. Or was it 20? It's gone 5% at around like 20 some minutes. So yeah. But if you check that map, if you were to like scroll up a little bit to past that point, and like you would like see the like, because up there in that corner, like essentially in the app where that share button and the star button is. Oh yeah, so right there. Yeah. That was essentially a room. It was the like the, I forget what it was called, but it's the room where you fight Zsasz. Victor Zsasz, Mr. Zsasz, It's the room where you fight him, with the guy in the electric chair with Zsasz holding the button, where you have to use the gargoyles to eventually get down and take down Zsasz. And fun fact, most of the time I see people just use the glide kick. You can 100% just throw a batarang, drop down, walk up, and just do a takedown on him. And the thing is, it works. I actually did that while playing through this game and whatnot a lot earlier today. And to be honest, I was surprised you could do that. Because one of his lines is, if I see any looking remotely like a bat, this guy dies or whatever, And like, you think the batarang hitting him in the face would have, been one of the things, because of the fact that it's a batarang, that it would have been one of the things that like, he saw it and like get hit by it and just hits the button. But nope, it technically stuns him just the same as any other like attack would, So you have a choice. You don't really have to glide kick him. You can just throw a batarang, hop down, and just walk up, just kind of just take him down. I forget what the actual move is called, but yeah, just like a finishing move. Without the diff. But it's just and the thing is, in like the rooms up there at top left, like where it says like the map and whatever else, which is the room that you essentially. Like, it's the room where you like fight the Blackgate thugs in the beginning, where they're like in cells and whatnot. And Joe or Harley, whoever, turns the laser doors for those cells off, and they just come out, and you just gotta fight them, like 2 waves of them. And like the whole room is technically like in multiple sections, and so that each one is divided by a laser doorway. But apparently the laser doorways for some reason don't appear on the map as actual doorways, but like they're still there. It's the room where Commissioner Gordon and Frank Boyles is waiting, you know. And it's where, you know, they are, where Frank Boyles just bops Gordon over the head, and he just kidnaps Gordon because, you know, corrupt security officer. We got corrupt cops, and corrupt military, and now they spend our time corrupt security guards. So, yeah. Now all we need is a weaponized corrupt something. You ever notice how a lot of times in media, when there is like a quote-unquote corrupt like person, they're almost always in a position of power that gives them that requires them to, you know, have some form of a weapon. You don't really see that many like corrupt presidents, you know. I will admit, yeah, there's been occasional corrupt advisors and whatnot. They also normally have some form of might over like a militaristic power. Like take Avatar: The Last Airbender, for example. You know, like when in the what was it called? What was the basically in the Earth, when they were going to the Earth Kingdom in like the Ba Sing Se arc, the Dai Li, that's what they were called. Okay, the Dai Li were essentially led by the guy who was essentially just the advisor to the Earth King, you know. The Dai Li weren't exactly the Earth King's army. They were, what's his name's army? To be honest, I don't really consider his name nearly as important as the Dai Li. I'm not going to try nearly as hard to remember his name as the Dai Li, you know, due to the fact that dude had less of an impact than the Dai Li. Okay. So yeah, but the thing is, he may have had the ability and power. Dude had a militaristic style army. Dude had was essentially power of like the Secret Service, quote unquote, of the Earth Kingdom, you know? They were like the main enforcers of the essentially like tradition and law and whatnot, you know? And it was because of that. And while yeah, he wasn't like one of the most powerful earthbenders to really need to fight, but he was still essentially like a general in, when it comes to like more modern rankings and whatnot. So yeah, most time when there's and even with Case the King on the other hand wasn't corrupt at all. Yeah, he was basically doing the things that a corrupt person was telling him to do, but dude didn't realize what he was doing was harming his citizens. He didn't realize his kingdom was under attack because his most trusted advisor was basically telling him, nah, it's fine, it's all good. And obviously, as the most trusted advisor, he was, you know, trusted the most when it came to these matters. And because obviously most of the residents of Ba Sing Se being hypnotized and their Lake Lao guy, yeah, they also didn't really complain to the Earth Kingdom's king, you know. So yeah, and that's kind of why I feel like maybe we shouldn't be given
right near to the room with the penguin Easter egg. Yeah, right one again. There we know. One starting to head this way. And we did. One finally got up. And that's the trick. Come on.
Okay. Yeah, see, this is actually better. This is a better instance of the map. See, if you take note, and I really wish I could zoom in. Actually, I think I might know a way I can do this, but I don't know if taking a screen. Let me just take a screenshot real quick. I'm on my phone. Okay, good. Okay, now I'm gonna open the editing thing of it. Okay, I'm gonna see I just got a notification about my battery being showing 30%. Okay. Yeah, I think I know how to do this. I know I can like zoom in on a screenshot by just using the crop. And it should just start to zoom in on it. Or maybe not. I mean, I guess technically, if I save that, now if I go here, there's something right here. Yeah, see? What I want to do is I want to point out where that like or that like exclamation point in the circle is, as well as that door in the top right. There are like those are two places that are like completely locked off until you reach like that like basically completely require some item to get past. Now that specific door, I have no idea what that item is, but I'm pretty sure to get past the doorway from like that like skinny little route into like the 4 cell blocks where you room with the 4 cell blocks. Those areas, I'm pretty sure if you get like the cryptographic sequencer, you can get past them. Problem is though, and the reason I point this out is, and why I hate it, is because in that specific room, the one that is trying to get more centered in the screen, and the one with like the ventilation shaft, at least it's clearly a ventilation shaft, how wide the path is. You know, this one's right beyond that door. That room, it has apparently one of the Riddler challenges in it, you know? And not only that, but one of the other, and it's also one of the location-based Riddler challenges as well. Meaning it's not just something simple as like a trophy or a thing of chattering teeth. No, it's an actual thing that I'll have to like scan in the room. What that thing is, no idea. But I know it's in there because the Riddler challenge, this menu says it is. And as you can tell, this video is taken before I unlocked the Riddler challenges menu. And not only that, but in that cell block area, one of the cell blocks, and I know for a fact which one it is, I also need to scan to get a Riddler challenges trophy. You know? Well, not the trophy itself, but you know, to get a Riddler challenge done. And the sad part is, if you stand in that room where the exclamation point is, you know, where you have to essentially, you know, like scan around for something to track Frank Boyles with, Boyles or anything, you can actually see the room that you're supposed to scan. Thing is though, because of the distance between like how close you can get to it and how like and how close from the closest point you can get to it, you can't actually scan it, and it's not even something where if you scan in this direction, it's like, oh, it's too small or see or not close enough. No. Hey, you can get close enough to see the reason the way that you're supposed to know that it's meant to be scanned. But at the same time though, you can't scan it because like you can't get like properly close enough to. You know, so yeah. And not only that, but here's another thing I got caught. Down there, the thing that looks like the plug enemy from from Kirby Star Allies. You know, with the two little, like, the room with the 2 squares. Hairs on top of it, you know. So I watched many videos that supposedly say that is the place you're supposed to get the quote-unquote like mystery item, which is essentially just, you know, a map telling you where all the secrets are. Thing is though, every single video I've seen has had a near completely different layout of that room than my game. I don't know if it's because I'm playing like the PS3 non-Game of the Year edition or what, but like I'm playing the like original PS3 Arkham Asylum, not Game of the Year edition, not Xbox, not PS4, not PS4 Pro. I don't even know what the game's on PS5, but I'm not even playing the PC version. No, I am playing the basic PS3 version. You know, so yeah. And basically, every time I go in that room, I try to follow the mapping for like how they're getting to the map. and nothing is adding up. Yeah, I fall down the shaft with where the elevator fell and broke. But once I fall down that shaft, nothing is the same. Heck, for a lot of the videos, the elevator itself doesn't even look the same. Like, I'm not kidding. For them, the top of the elevator looks practically brand new, or like newly replaced. For me, it's still in like many pieces. Clearly something was on it when it fell, you know what I mean? Like, also it seems like. And then what they'll do is, after jumping down and forward, they'll turn to the right, they'll walk off, or run off, or whatever, and then a little bit to the left, there will be an incline amount of stairs that are not like hidden by a wall or anything, or not as part of a doorway, into essentially a room that like has the map or whatever. Thing about my game is though, is I don't really see where that is. If you notice on the little side, on the right side, let me get this, I forgot I had this, right here, there's a little like jutted out part, okay? That part is actually a stairway that leads you to an upper half of like a little room that's essentially, well, right in this area, okay? Thing is though, is that where most of the like supposed stairs are, they drop down this kind of shaft, this elevator shaft. I'm sure we're trying. They drop down this elevator shaft, and then they turn essentially this way, and then they go up some stairs that are like right here into a room that's just this, we're not right exactly there, but it's around like this kind of area, you know. Thing is though, that area isn't there for me, and neither are those stairs. So I have like no clue how to actually get the map. Now don't get me wrong, I found the Harley Quinn tape that's in the area that I just told you where those stairs led, you know. Harley Quinn's like first audio log that I find is always in that specific spot. But I haven't found any other place. It's always any place that I can access from that room where there would be a collectible. I mean, other than, you know, the area like that you can only access by going in the ventilation shaft that links those two elevators. Because when you go to the ventilation shaft, if there's like an alternate way that's like just out, that's basically just, you know, Jonathan Crane's secret lair. You know, John Crane, the man behind the mask, the scarecrow mask, you know. And yeah, I collected that. And that's the thing though, you know. The thing about me is I always try to like maximize my experience gain in while playing Arkham Asylum, due to the fact that, well, I essentially, we've already reached 11%, and I've only been recording for about 43 minutes. Yeah, but either way, I just wanted to let you guys know why I wasn't able to actually properly record much throughout the week, and while I probably won't be able to record for a long while, because the thing is I literally can't really charge my phone. Because if I'm active on my phone while it's charging through the only cord that I have available, then it's really not going to do like anything, because the cord can only at max speed charge it just slowly. Like so slowly that it literally says it's charging slowly when I plug it in. Something that doesn't really do it for about like any other cord I've plugged it into. You know, so yeah. And because it's charging slowly and already so drains relatively quick, it also means, especially if I'm playing a specific game, you know, games like GTA San Andreas, you know. So yeah, all the games I play from my YouTube channel. And you may notice there's like less games in this than the first time I shown the folder. That is for reasons that I can explain right now if you want me to. I mean, it'll probably take a while. But, to be honest, I got some okay time, I guess. Basically, I decided to uninstall specific games that were in the folder due to the fact that, well, they weren't like properly active on my channel, because currently my actual active playthroughs are of those 3 games at the top, one with the Vidma, and the GTA San Andreas Definitive Edition, and Rainbow Six Small, as well as the Nightmares of the Deep Cursed Heart, you know. So, and the only reason why the other like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games are still there is because Blockhead's still there, because it's a game that I didn't install through the Play Store, but instead through this app store called Tap Games. Dungeon RPG, Dystopia is still there, because, I think it's called Bissell Dystopia Dungeon RPG is still there, because I play it casually, not just on my YouTube channel. High Water and Desta are still there, because I also play those casually, not just on my channel. And Dual Revolution and WazHack are basically still there, because, I don't know, I just didn't really see it fit to actually install them, because I figured why not just leave them installed, you know, just to remind myself that I actually plan to play them on my channel. And then the Monument Valley game by Netflix, yeah, I also play that casually. Try to do this a little bit. But either way, yeah, I just want to let y'all know that I'm probably not going to be able to record for a while due to the fact that now my phone just hit like 10% and 46 is another 30 seconds. Yeah, so just want to let you guys know I'm not going to be able to record. Sorry, my throat's got dry for a second. Not going to be able to record for probably a long while until I can like find a replacement cord to, you know, like be able to find a cord that can properly charge my phone. Because the only reason I'm able to use this phone most time during the day is because my dad works the day shift at his job here recently. And also my mom always spends her days in the living room watching TV, except for today, which was my sister doing it. We can end them on that, but there's like this one phone charging cord that my parents have in their room that I'll just plug this phone into, and that's the reason why it's at 10% right now, not 0. Because the thing is, this phone, while it's really good when it comes to like storage and processing power, and heck, it's kind of my only device I can play certain games that I like to play on. Games like, I don't know, do I have any of those games that are like only compatible? Oh yeah, the Disney Pixel RPG that came out recently, that I can only play on this device. Let's see, is there any others I'm forgetting about? I mean, I guess you could potentially count like Summoner's War and Puzzles and Dragons and Mortal Kombat as heck, especially that Chronicles game, Summoner's War Chronicles. I guess you go dueling essentially too. I guess I can technically only play those games on this device, but it's not for like a compatibility sake. It's more about this device actually has storage on it, unlike my other device, it's like really doesn't. Which is why I started trying to exclusively record and upload using this device. So that's gonna be like all for this little like update, as well as like cool trick and couple rants, like whatever, you know, update, as well as like showing off a trick. It can in Batman Arkham Asylum, because why not? Probably still gonna actually try to find a way that I can properly send that to a friend. And, the problem is I don't really have the friend on Facebook, which is my only real way of communicating using this device because it doesn't have data. So I'm gonna have to find a way I can like show, always send the video to my friend. Dude did say he found my channel, so maybe he'll watch this video and he'll see the video through my channel. Likely because of the fact that I don't really check the comments or anything. And heck, I don't even really check the videos at all, really. The only time my channel is like actually active, always actively being used on my like YouTube app, is when I'm like in the process of uploading something. I'll like switch the YouTube account on the active account on my YouTube app right before I go to bed. I'll like wake up, go to YouTube, and like upload the video, and then I'll like once it's like officially uploaded, I change it back to my account my actual main account and whatnot. So yeah. And then I'll just like spend the whole day listening to music or watching some gaming videos. Yeah. I've been watching a lot of San Andreas like theory videos here recently. And I gotta be honest, there's a lot of things people are like not really keen on, if I've noticed. Like there's one thing I gotta call myself out on, and I will call myself like out on it again next time I upload San Andreas. But I may have like mistaken when CJ enters his mom's house. For some reason I refer to it as Sweet's house, even though I guess I wasn't paying attention up and it was actually his mom's house. But my point still stands. And if anything, it actually enforces my point even more. Because think about it, okay? Why would Big Smoke try to ambush Sweet in Sweet's mom's house? You know, if you're gonna ambush someone to kill them, you should do it in like a house. You should definitely do it in their house. You know? And not only that, but when's the best time to raid someone's kitchen? When they're dead and everyone else is at their funeral. You know, it makes it even better of a chance for them to raid Sweet's mom's kitchen, you know? It's just because, you know? Because here's the thing. Not only is like everyone in the neighborhood gone, but she's dead, you know? Likely dude's raiding her kitchen and with using the excuse that she ain't gonna need the food, she already dead. Can't be hungry if you're dead. You know? Think about it. And again, you built the wrong house, fool. This doesn't really seem that right, you know? Even if, you know, it's not his house, it's his mom's house. And still, it's his mom's house. Likely, you know, in most family scenarios, when a family member dies that doesn't live with the family member and whatnot, in most cases, they'll still come to that family's house to retrieve items, you know. Items that family member might have kept for like mementos, you know. They might get something to try to remember a family member by, you know. And due to the fact that dude would have been coming to that house after, you know, going to his mom's funeral, honestly, it wouldn't really have been that wrong of a move, you know. Go to her funeral and then head to her house, you know. Get some of the pictures she kept of you and her, and no, it's just a real thing. It's just a thing to do, you know. It's more proper, you know. And let's be honest, okay? Likely, you know, Sweet wouldn't have been the only one likely to do it. You gotta think. And no, I'm not talking about Carl Johnson, you know, CJ himself. You gotta think they also had a sister that could have, you know, probably would have been more likely to be the one doing that, you know. Trying to, you know, get some pictures their mom would have kept of them and their mother, you know. It just doesn't sit right that I was excusing, or at least not everyone, but you know, the fact that Big Smoke would be accused of, you know, trying to attack CJ with the bat, and his opening line, you know, would just be, "You broke the wrong house, fool." Because you gotta think, okay. It seems too generic, you know? You picked the wrong house, fool. It doesn't have any personal attachment. Likely, if you're gonna try to kill someone, like a specific someone, likely your opening line isn't going to be the same thing you would use for any generic nobody trying to rob a house, you know? You picked the wrong house, fool, isn't something that's said in an attempt to kill someone you hate out of spite, or, you know, to kill a mission or whatnot. It's not something that's based on a personal vendetta. It's not something you say to someone who's a target, at least not a target that you know. But you know what it is, the type of response to? Or the type of response you would give to someone? I don't know, the type of someone you would give that response to, I guess is the proper way of saying it. To someone who's trying to rob your house, you know, or at least rob the house you're in. Which is likely what Big Smoke thought CJ was doing. And for clarification, I am not defending Big Smoke and any of his actions trying to justify. I am simply just trying to justify the fact that dude came about to bash CJ's head in, not realizing that, well, you know, one, CJ was coming to town. Two, dude was about to not be the only one left alone, and the dead person's house, when supposedly everyone in the neighborhood was at the funeral. Let's be honest. Okay. Most likely the reason why Big Smoke seemed so suspicious in that moment wasn't because he was meant to. That wasn't really much of a sign that, Big Smoke was meant to kill CJ or Sweet or whoever. It was likely just him raiding the kitchen. Remember, okay, one thing people seem to be calling out as like the biggest theory on San Andreas is that supposedly Ryder was never meant to be one of the traitors. But one thing I have to mention is a very specific line that people seem to overlook. And I think it's weird because I've seen this line actually been played in one of the videos. I think it was either explaining how you're supposed to supposedly realize that Big Smoke is a big traitor earlier, or it was a video talking about how Ryder, I guess, was never meant to be, a traitor. But the thing is, in my opinion, this specific line, even though it was just only shown because of the fact that it was something earlier or later on in the cutscene that the person was showing, and they were showing us, instead of just showing the specific part, they showed more proper stuff with the cutscene and how they got to that line as well, and a little bit after. Which honestly I really liked because it proved that they weren't just being selective with their evidence. And don't get me wrong, they were definitely being selective with what they took from the evidence, but they weren't just being selective with segments of their evidence. One thing I don't like is when people will try to doctrine their evidence to just make it seem like they are 100% right, leaving out any possibility for them to be wrong. Because you gotta think, everyone has the ability to be right and the ability to be wrong. Everyone will always be wrong about something once in their life, but also everyone will be right about something once in their life. The only thing is, how much more than once you are of either thing. I'll admit, I've done some wrong things. I've said some wrong things. Now, when I say wrong things, I'm not talking about morally wrong. I'm talking about something like I misread the instructions while cooking some random food. You know what I mean? Heck, one of the things that I eat to this very day, I eat, and I fucking love, because I had an accident in the kitchen. And when I say an accident in the kitchen, I don't mean I pooped my pants. I mean, I burnt my grilled cheese. I burnt the bread. Okay, one thing I gotta clarify. When I say I love burnt grilled cheese, I'm not saying I love burnt cheese between two burnt slices of bread. I mean I like the bread on my grilled cheese burnt. Obviously, burnt cheese is not good. You can't convince me burnt cheese is something that should be digested. But at the same time, you cannot stop me from eating a burnt grilled cheese. People are putting so much emphasis on the fact that I'm saying burnt and cheese that I forget I'm talking about a sandwich. Meaning I'm burning not the cheese inside, but the bread that's used that the cheese is between. And for anyone wondering how I could like a burnt grilled cheese, I will explain myself, because I refuse to have an opinion without being able to back up that opinion, The reason why I like burnt grilled cheese is because the burntness of the bread, unlike most other things that are burnt, for some reason when you burn a grilled cheese, the bread kind of got this metallic iron taste to it. And one thing that I've never really been able to explain is, for some reason, metal tastes pretty good to me. I've always liked things that have a metallic taste to them. You know what I mean? So if something tastes like it's made of iron, likely, as long as it's not literally iron, I'd probably eat it. You know what I mean? I've licked metal as a small child, because of the fact that supposedly it tasted good. Heck, one of the reasons why I like hummus is because it's got like both an earthy taste and a metallic taste. It's got like an earthy like tone and a metallic tone to it. Something I like to call a mineralistic tone, or like mineralistic undertone. You know what I mean? Because it's both earthy and metallic a little bit in its taste, which is why I call it more of a mineralistic kind of taste. You know, because that's kind of what most minerals is. They're kind of like more earthy metals. You know, they're metals in earth. You know, it's got like an ore undertone. You know. Like, it's got actually more like earthy and kind of like metallic taste, you know. So think of like a iron ore in Minecraft, you know. So yeah, and that's why I like hummus. I don't know why I like these. That being said, though, I never really ate dirt as a child, and to be honest, I'm surprised. Now, one thing I must clarify: there was one moment in my life where I did something incredibly fucking stupid that caused that. As part of what happened, I ended up like swallowing a bit of dirt on accident, but in my defense, it was also mixed in with some of the blood that was contained within my face, or supposed to be contained in my face. Yeah, I have this memory of like I was in like a playground area during like school hours, and it was the school playground, okay. And on this playground, there was like, because you know how like a lot of like play sets on playgrounds and even school playgrounds have this kind of like, maybe like floor system and whatnot, where there's different levels to it. Well, for some reason, there are like two different playgrounds at the school. There was one for the younger grades and one for the older grades. I was in the one for the older grades, because at this point in time, I was one of the older grades at this elementary school. By older grades, I mean like, you know, 4th and 5th grade, whatnot. And like 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we've got to play on this playground. And if I remember correctly, I was in 3rd when it happened. It's my second, I believe it's my second like farthest from present in point in time memory. It's like one of my second earliest memories. Actually no, it's definitely my 3rd. I forgot that really kind of, maybe not embarrassing. I mean, it may be embarrassing for someone else, but for me, it's not nearly as embarrassing because I know for a fact that I was definitely not 5 yet. And the only reason I know I was at least 4 was because my actual earliest memory is me blowing out the candles on my 4th birthday cake. You know? My birthday cake, the one I had when I turned 4. That is like my actual like earliest memory, like earliest point in time. My second earliest is my first time ever using kid logic, something that, you know, it's a phrase I picked up from watching another YouTuber. It's a storytime animator. I believe her name was Rebecca Parham. Her YouTube channel is Let Me Explain Studios, if I remember correctly. She's a pretty good creator. To be honest, I feel like under her situation and whatnot, she certainly feels like a safe bet when I say she's a good creator. But then again, in today's world, no one is safe, let's be honest. Like, one thing I feel like I'm one of the least cancelable people I know. Well, and it's not for anything like, you know, I've never done anything bad, I have nothing to hide. But I feel it's because of the fact that the reason why I'm feeling the least like cancelable, and it's not even just because I'm not even on Twitter. You know, the one site where like canceling is supposedly a thing. Bro, I'm not on like any social media. Heck, my main account, my Google account, like it has like an account for like everything. I had a fucking Google Plus account. I need you all to know, at the current point in time, I am 20 years old. Okay. Yeah. Google Plus has not existed for many years. You don't even want to know how old I was when I made that Google Plus account. Well, what I will tell you is, I think it was like less than a week before Google Plus was shut down. You know what I mean? Like, and I never used it. I made the account. That was the most I didn't even repost and do anything. There were like 2 apps that I've been meaning to make accounts for, because I just really want to like have an account for them. One I just really want more than the other. But the other one, I feel the only reason I want an account for is just because like the novelty of it, you know, just so I can like maybe use it to my advantage of like gaining more knowledge and whatnot. Maybe turn myself from the wise barbarian into more of an intellectual brute. You know what I mean? You know. But either way, they're like the only like quote unquote like social media apps that I don't actually have any account for. And I kind of hate that fact because I actually have an account for TikTok. Yeah, I made in the Sabbath. Not only do I have an account for TikTok, but I actually have 2 accounts for TikTok. One for my personal email and another for my actual channel. And no, I haven't actually posted any videos on that account, but there is like a TikTok account for my channel and whatnot. It uses my actual like YouTube profile picture and a general sense of the name and whatnot. But the thing is though, I actually created 2 at one point because I forget whether or not I log in with my email or my Google, like actual Google, well, when logging in with my user accounts. I tend to do that with like a lot of accounts. I forget whether or not I log in with an email or with Google as my main source of logging in. So sometimes I'll make the account using one of them, and then next time I try to log in, I'll accidentally try to log in with the other, and then end up accidentally creating like a second account. Luckily, TikTok has a very easy system to delete accounts and whatnot. So not only was I able to delete the account, but I was also able to easily select the fact that I not accidentally, but you know, I made the account and whatnot, you know, actually have a proper other account, you know. So I was able to like actually, heck, I actually have a Twitch account, but it's kind of the same as my TikTok account. I like only use it for viewing and whatnot. But surprisingly, my Twitch account, I actually use my YouTube channel's email for it. But I use the YouTube account's email as like a personal thing. Not only that, but on my like TikTok account and whatnot, one for my YouTube channel, I just been like liking stuff that and like following people just for like personal things and whatnot, you know. I've also been using my actual like YouTube channel's email as more of a personal thing. Heck, if you find my TikTok account, you'll notice a lot of people I'm following, and a lot of things. If you can even see my likes and follows, you'll notice a lot of people I'm following do just kind of random stuff. Like, and a lot of the stuff I have liked is just like essentially the like rock covers and rock covers, whatever they are, of that like one I believe like Lady Gaga's song, you know, Just Dance, like those types of videos, and like specifically like the videos with the audios of like the quote-unquote ADHD versions of songs. There are some other like types of videos I need to find and whatnot to better curate like a TikTok style like For You page. But I have like a few like videos I've liked of just like dark humor, ADHD, and just a bunch of other shit like that. Because like, bro, I am the spectrum of just chaos, you know. In my opinion, I actually do agree with those people who are like, you know, aren't we all a little on the spectrum? You know, like when it comes to like autism. But the thing is, I have ADHD, and you can probably definitely tell that by the way I talk in my videos. If I get lost in conversation, then I instantly like hit the gas like way harder than when I'm not. You can tell if I know what I'm talking about, because you won't know what I'm talking about. Turns out if I know what I'm talking about, you won't. You know what I mean? Because I'll just like fucking speed up. Here's a good tip. If it ever feels like I'm talking too fast, that's one thing you all should definitely do. Hit the gear icon on YouTube. Or like when you go to a video, you bring up the overlay or the pause or whatever, or mouse overs, whatever you do. Click on the gear or tap on the gear icon and just reduce the playback speed by however much you need. Yeah, it'll slow down the gameplay and whatnot, whatever I'm doing. But hey, at least you'll be able to understand me. You know, heck, it's because of how fast I talk when my ADHD like truly kicks in. Which is why I believe my sister might also have ADHD. And no, I'm not saying she also talks fast. No, what I'm actually saying is she's the only one that seems to like understand what I'm saying when I talk fast. Now, don't get me wrong, even she has her limits for how like fast she can hear me. But at the same time though, I'm still able to talk relatively like fast according to other people and still be relatively understandable to her. Thing is though, I hate when people like usually talking way too fast. When even at the fastest that I talk, that's barely even a fourth of the speed at which I am thinking. You know? In the amount of time it takes me to say a full sentence, I've already thought that sentence like 4 times, and I've already thought of like many ways the sentence could be like essentially just followed up with and whatnot. I've already thought of a response to your response to my sentence, you know what I mean? That's part of the reason why if I'm like arguing about something or trying to point something out, I will immediately, after pointing it out, like give a counter argument and to or at least, you know, a like preemptive like counter to someone else trying to counter my argument. Because the amount of time it takes me to get halfway through saying what I'm talking about, most of the time I've already thought of like every single possible way someone could try to say like, oh, you lie, or like, oh, that's wrong, and like, oh, would you ever, and shit like that. So like I'll just like preemptively just like counter it as part of what I'm saying. So yeah, I have that like preemptive counter strike, you know, and it's just like, it's pretty much the whole thing where like likely if you're calling me out for something like a lack of information or something like that, or not fully saying everything, likely it's because you only read half the thing I said or listened to half the thing I said, and you just didn't actually hear the fact that I did in fact explain myself. You know, so yeah. Chances are someone's asking a question about something I said or something part of a conversation I'm having, it's likely because they didn't only listen to half the conversation or only read half the thing I posted or whatever. Because I tend to preemptively counter. Now, if someone does somehow ask a question that I did not preemptively counter, I welcome it because I welcome the chance to counter. Not only that, but I tend, like, sometimes I do have information that I'm not using to preemptively counter that could likely become more of a thing to counter with. But that's because likely I'm typing the thing I'm talking about, and I may be the fastest hunting pecker in the West, but I still use hunt and peck, you know. And the thing about me is, because my brain works so fast, my hands also tend to work very fast. But one problem with, you know, going too fast while typing on a keyboard and hunt and peck style on your phone, because I know I type stuff on my phone, is that likely, even if you do lift your finger properly, if you go too fast, it'll register as you dragging your finger from one letter to the next instead of, you know, actually tapping them, depending on the device's processing speed. So there's like several moments where I just have to hit the backspace, this button or whatever, like 1,000 fucking times, due to the fact that even though I did lift my finger to tap the next letter on the on-screen keyboard, my phone doesn't register the lift of the finger. It thinks I just dragged my finger across the screen. Because of how fast my finger moved from one letter to the next. And it's kind of fucking bullshit. Like, I can definitely tell why in most iterations of the Flash, we tend not to see him use text, you know, to like talk to people. We see him like calling, using like comm links and stuff like that. But there's a reason why you never see the Flash texting at super speed. Okay, I don't even have like actual super speed, but I apparently have the ability to text or type on a phone fast enough to activate the swipe tap, you know, the swipe message or whatever. Why must I even see a speed search, speed typing? It's on a fucking computer keyboard or laptop keyboard or whatever. It's not an on-screen keyboard, it's a physical keyboard. So yeah. Because my gosh, it's just fucking horrible to just rapidly fast type on a screen. When you go too fast. Like, I genuinely can keep up with myself, but the phone cannot keep up with me. My brain actually has more processing power than a Google Pixel, whatever this is. Oh my god. Well, with my phone at 4% and this update video now an hour and 15 minutes long or over, I really need to stop recording. So this is going to be the Wise Barbarian signing off. Bye-bye.